A silent but highly strategic movement has put the world on alert by involving the United States in operations in the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most sensitive regions on the planet. Reports indicate that a carrier strike group may have deployed several F/A-18 Super Hornet fighter jets, while oil tankers were intercepted and redirected toward Iran. Analysts believe this combination of actions raises serious concerns about a potential escalation, as an operation of this scale rarely occurs without clear strategic objectives, even if they have not been fully revealed. Experts emphasize that the presence of a full strike group indicates prior preparation, detailed intelligence, and the ability to respond immediately to any unexpected scenario. This type of mobilization goes beyond a simple show of force, representing a military structure ready to operate in high-tension situations, suggesting that the current context may be more delicate than it appears. This raises questions about what exactly motivated this action at this specific moment. The large-scale use of fighter jets reinforces the idea that there may be an attempt to establish air superiority in the region, something typical in scenarios where there is a real risk of confrontation. These aircraft are not just surveillance tools but also platforms for attack and rapid response, significantly increasing the level of tension. Analysts believe that this aerial presence may serve both as a form of deterrence and as a signal of readiness for potential developments. The interception of oil tankers, in turn, may have been a direct message, indicating that movements considered suspicious will not be tolerated. However, the lack of transparency regarding the contents of these vessels increases uncertainty and fuels speculation. This type of action, while strategic, contributes to creating an atmosphere of distrust, where every decision is interpreted from different perspectives. At the same time, reports have emerged suggesting that Iran may have deployed naval mines in the strait, which, if confirmed, would completely change the scenario. Experts warn that this type of strategy could turn the region into a constant risk zone, hindering maritime traffic without the need for direct confrontation. This represents a highly effective form of geopolitical pressure, based more on threat than direct action. The impact of such potential mining would be immediate and global, as around 20% of the world's oil passes through this route. Even without a total blockade, the mere perception of risk can drive up prices and disrupt supply chains. Analysts believe that this domino effect could impact fuels, food, and energy, extending the crisis far beyond the region. Moreover, the combination of an intensified military presence and the risk of mines creates an extremely volatile environment. Experts warn that any miscalculation, isolated incident, or misinterpretation could trigger a chain reaction. In such scenarios, rapid decisions, often based on incomplete information, significantly increase the risk of escalation. The United States could attempt to neutralize the mines, which would involve complex and sensitive operations, while Iran could interpret these actions as a direct provocation. This cycle of action and reaction creates a situation where escalation can occur gradually, without necessarily an initial intention of open conflict, but with the potential to spiral out of control quickly. Meanwhile, the international community watches with growing concern. Countries dependent on oil from the region may push for diplomatic solutions, while powers such as China and Russia monitor the situation with their own strategic interests. This multiplicity of actors turns the crisis into a complex geopolitical game, where decisions on one side directly influence the responses of others. Finally, financial markets are already beginning to react to the climate of uncertainty, with oil prices potentially rising based solely on perceived risk. Fear spreads rapidly, affecting investments, stock markets, and entire economies. At the center of it all is uncertainty. Analysts believe that the greatest danger lies not only in what has already happened, but in what may still happen, as even the smallest move can trigger profound global consequences.